What's up, dude?
Just got a couple of boys in the house, couple of hogs in the house tonight.
I just did a really weird thing have you ever seen the movie is it called The Last Waltz, the documentary about the band?
I don't know. I don't think so then.
You know the band The Band?
I know that it exists, but I don't know anything about it.
Oh,
Why?
well,
What's the context?
well, so Martin Scorsese made a movie called The Last Waltz, and it is the last concert that the band ever performed.
Okay.
But in the movie, the band are constantly doing cocaine, and Scorsese is having to cut around that in the movie.
Oh, so it's a real band.
They're called The Band.
Oh, okay. All right.
The Band.
Gotcha. Okay.
You definitely know their music. Look them up after you'd be like, oh, of course, The Band.
Okay.
So they're constantly doing cocaine throughout the documentary, and it's like, it's all this performance footage of them like playing the concert, but then it's like cutting backstage to them like talking with each other and stuff. And anytime it cuts backstage, one of the shot always starts with one of them going like that. Like it's like they couldn't cut into the footage until the second their head came off the table out of the pile of cocaine. It's so funny.
I gotta watch that now.
It's fantastic. It's one of the best concert movies ever.
Andrew Hess used to blast that at the house after bars in college. I didn't even know it existed. I knew that I've heard of the band, but I didn't know if it was like a Spinal Tap fake thing or if it was.
Oh no, yeah, this is like Scorsese has done a bunch of these music documentaries over the years, and this is probably his best one. I love it.
Oh, check it out. I'm sure you've seen Spinal Tap, right?
Oh my goodness, of course I've seen Spinal Tap.
I think that's one of my. I say this every week, and it's been over 10 weeks now, but I think it's one of my top 10 favorite comedies.
I love that movie. It's so
perfect
funny.
Movie. Like
it's so funny.
I don't know. I'm sure maybe something predates it, but I don't know if they created that genre of like mockumentary, but they set the standard. If they didn't create it, they at least set the standard.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like there's probably some weird obscure example that comes before that or whatever, but I do think that is like, I don't know. Anytime I see a mockumentary, you put it up against that one, and none of them are ever quite as good as that one.
The only one that I thought was almost as good, but it was sadder. What the hell is it called? It's a band name that starts with an A. It's like Axel or Anvil. That's a really, because that one's I think it's completely real.
I think they're a real band. I think that one.
But it might not. Like the documentary might not be, and the fact that I don't know makes me like it even more.
Yes, yeah.
Bits that like it almost looks like Spinal Tap was based off Anvil, which I don't know if it was, but it ends with like this was a real band, and they all are working regular jobs now and are sad. But
yes,
it's the only other really good rock documentary I've seen.
Yeah. There's also Stop Making Sense, the Talking Heads one. Have you ever seen that?
No. Is that a good one?
Stop Making Sense is incredible. It is just a concert. There's not even like they never cut anywhere else. Mm-hmm. It's just footage of Talking Heads playing this concert, and it is fucking incredible. There's no way you can watch it and not just like feel very, very good for whatever, an hour or 80 minutes or however.
What's it called again?
It's called Stop Making Sense. Another totally cocaine-fueled movie. You just don't see the cocaine. They're all doing
every movie with back then,
dude.
Just they're going wild, and that's when all the best movies were made, and music was made somehow for some reason.
It's like it's one of those things where I saw Stop Making Sense when I was younger, and again, it's this incredible concert, and the concert is full. It's this huge stage show, and everybody is just fucking at 11 the whole time. Just doing these crazy choreographed dances in these big costumes. And like, I don't know how I didn't know that's what was happening when I saw it young enough that I was just like, wow, amazing. And then I got like 3 years older and I was like, wow, cocaine. Like there's no other explanation for that.
Or like whenever there's a movie and it'll be like, even some John Carpenter shit. I don't know what he was into, but like there'll be movies and they'll just be a part in the 80s and early 90s where it just actually doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah.
And it'll be like, so you got together with everybody else who was making this movie and you all signed off on this part that actually doesn't make sense.
Right.
And it was just, we're on drugs, basically.
I mean, people love this movie, but Rocky IV is not even a movie.
I love Rocky 4. It makes no sense at
Rocky
all.
4 is like 3 montages back to back, and one of them features a robot so that they can leave their son at home alone while they go fight communism.
The robot is the key part of Rocky 4 because even within the movie, they kind of reference that they don't get it.
Yeah.
But if you notice, like, because there's a robot and it comes in, and first of all, it's like, first it's playing music that sounds just like the Ninja Turtles music, which is a weird thing that I noticed. So there's this weird music. It comes in, and then it knows Polly's name,
right?
Of course. But then it's being like weirdly flirty with him.
Yes.
Like a flirtatious female robot with Polly. And
for sure, Polly fucks that robot. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And then even after that scene ends, it's only like 2 minutes long. Apollo Creed within the movie is like, anyway, like he has to pause for a minute because he doesn't know what the hell just happened.
It's definitely a moment where he's like, I can't believe I'm still doing Sly favors.
Right. And then there's the car montage, there's the working out in the snow montage where he outruns the communists on foot while they drive a Mercedes through the snow.
Well, and he the movie essentially ends with him defeating communism through being the most American.
That's how he won it. And he gained the respect of Ivan Drago, of course.
Yeah.
And
he just performs very Americanly.
Right.
And the communists stand down.
Yeah, they're all hyped up on drugs.
Right.
Giving him drugs, and they don't care about him. And for some reason, at the boxing match, it has like the entire government of the Russians, or they're all like,
Yeah.
Like, but no Americans, like, it's only every single person from the Russian side, and they were all defeated in that one night.
It's so funny. My buddy Dan loves to point out that like there's one shot in the movie where they show Drago like taking steroids. It's like among one of the montages, a shot of a needle going in, and it's like if it weren't for that shot, there would be no villains in this movie. He's like, they're just two guys like fighting very hard, like working very hard, fighting very hard, like
One's just way bigger.
They include that one shot, and it's like, that guy's doing drugs. He's fucked up. He's the bad guy.
That's a good point. It's only that, and it's only for like not even 1 second. Yeah. That's all. That's really bizarre. Yeah. Don't forget though, Ivan Drago's wife is a real piece of work. And she's very her and Polly fight all the time.
What's that woman's name? Yeah. Is it Brigitte Nielsen? Is that who that is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. But I think for me, because I love that movie just because when I was a kid, for wrestling, when we go wrestle other teams, they put that movie on the bus because it was like the bus had like a VCR and you could put a movie on, and it was either that or Heavyweights with Ben Stiller, but one was more of a pump up and one was more silly,
dude.
Of course, which is another one of my favorites.
I'm a huge Heavyweights fan. Yeah, this is a movie that like not even a lot of people seem to know about.
Which is crazy because I think it's my favorite Ben Stiller movie. He's
so funny in this movie. A couple of my friends and I quote that movie pretty often. Like he's got that line where he's like doing the morning announcement. He's like, "Attention campers, today lunch has been canceled due to a lack of hustle. Deal with it."
Yeah.
It's so good.
Or the devil log. Like everything he does is so quotable. And even that movie does not make sense.
Oh no, that's
on any level.
No, that is a nonsense movie for children that is very effective when you're a child. And then when you watch it as an adult, it's just like a movie that was clearly made for kids by adults that were just trying to like make each other laugh. And so there's like,
and they succeeded.
There's all these crazy weird jokes throughout that movie that I really appreciate. Like Judd Apatow worked on that movie. That's like an early movie that I think he's credited as a writer on.
Yeah, with him and that other huge
Paul Feig.
Paul Feig did it. Which is funny because I usually don't like Judd Apatow and Paul Feig movies, but it's one of my favorite kids movies and just fun movies to watch as an adult.
There's that scene where they're like up on the mountain going on that hike with Ben Stiller's character.
And even after that, when they trap him in like a punji pit,
Yes.
and then they lock him up in a jail they made themselves, and you're supposed to accept the entire thing. Like,
yes. Well, there's that scene where they reveal they've been eating rats or whatever. They do the gross. But that scene where they're up on the mountain, there's that part where they're like, "Hey, Uncle Tony, Jerry says you can't do a sit up with your eyes closed." And Ben Stiller goes, "Well, let's rock Jerry's world."
It's so many, and then he just did the exact same character in Dodgeball.
Dodgeball, yes, he's just doing that character again for sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
I love that character of just the completely out of touch fitness guy.
Did you watch that? This will make sense in a second. Did you watch that Hubie Halloween movie on Netflix that everybody was talking about? The Adam Sandler Halloween movie.
Is it any good?
No, okay. I mean, I kind of enjoyed it. There's things in it that I liked, but Ben Stiller reprises his role as the angry caretaker at the nursing facility or whatever from Happy Gilmore. Yeah.
Oh, like he reprises the literal character.
That character is in Hubie Halloween.
I might watch it just to see that.
It's literally like the first scene in the movie. So if you find the movie aggravating after that, you can just turn it off.
All right, good.
Yeah.
You know what? The young lady is in the waiting room here. It looks like she's looking right at me.
Oh,
let me bring her in.
Can't wait for her to comment on the lighting I'm trying to fix for your audience. Is it working?
You look mysterious, but even whiter.
Oh yeah. That's a yep.
I'll do a Tyler, my best Tyler here. Here she comes. You love her, you hate her. I especially hate her. The quarantine queen, Kate Hughes.
I'm being attacked by cats.
Yeah, what happened with? I've never seen you with a cat before. It's always dogs.
I know.
Did you turn that child from last week into a cat?
That's what happened. He messed with the wrong witch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or he, she. I'm sorry. I'm always worried about there's two of them. Did you know that? There's a boy and a girl. Did you see both of them?
Mm-mm.
Garrett? No. Hello, guys. How is everyone?
Wonderful, Kate.
Yeah, they're multiplying.
Where are you?
So that movie. Woo.
You watched it, did you?
I will.
Yeah,
I watched it.
Right?
I'm surprised you showed up.
So here's what happened. Here's what happened. So I text him. I'm like, what was the name of that movie again? Something Tomahawk. And he's like, Bone Tomahawk. And he's like, are you watching it now? And I said, oh, I'm not home yet, but I can text you when I start to watch it. Uh-huh. And so I text him.
Okay.
And it was kind of late. And I was like, I don't know if you're going to watch it now. And he goes, what?
Your connection's really, really bad.
That's
I can
bad.
barely hear you. Garrett, is it coming bad for you, or is it?
I'm okay. I can hear her.
You can get her?
Yeah, I can hear her.
Her face has been still this whole time for me. I just hear bits of noise.
Yeah.
Okay, keep
maybe it's you.
Maybe it is me.
No problem.
I can hear. Actually, you know what? Now I can hear you. Okay, it's just the
I don't remember
video. So who cares? You were saying you were texting me because you texted me last night.
Right. So I start to watch it, and he goes, wait till you see the scene. He's like, you'll know. Oh, you'll know. So then I was like waiting for it. So I thought it was the one where they put that stick thing in Kurt Russell's face and then they jam it in.
Yeah.
I was like, that's horrible, but that's not going to, I've seen worse. That's
not the scene.
I used to live outside of Philadelphia.
I've seen that shit
No,
all the time.
I know. It's not the scene. That's nothing. Yeah, and then I was like, well, he's dead, but Kurt Russell never dies until he did. But I mean, like typically in the movies, he lives through things that people should not even want to live through, to be honest.
Right. And this movie tricks you. Garrett's going to have to be the determining factor on this if one of us is lagging. But I can hear you. I think
who is it?
It could be me. I can't tell.
Choose
but
wisely.
I can hear you. No.
Garrett.
Yeah.
Neither of you are lagging on my
Yeah,
end, but yeah, but it's very clear someone is because everybody's like kind of talking on top of each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? I'm gonna leave and come back in, and then we'll maybe be able to tell.
Get
I'll
out
be
of here.
right back, gang.
Okay.
Oh my god, I can't believe he left me with the show.
Oh, God.
What do we do now?
Yeah.
What if
well,
he?
I'll keep
What
talking.
if he permanently kicked himself out?
That
Like, what
he
if he just
probably
gets
did.
locked out of here?
He probably doesn't want to come back. You know what I'm thinking has been happening? I'm
Talking
thinking
shit?
I'm being punked. You know,
You're not
like
being punked.
there's no Tyler, and then all of a sudden Tim's like, I gotta go too.
Yeah, perfect attendance still to this day. So, Kate, I think it might be you. Can you try exiting out and then coming back in?
See you guys.
All right, we're gonna change the password before she gets back. Yeah, okay. So there's a couple people saying it's out of sync.
Yeah,
But
I
we
think
weren't out of
anyway.
sync until Kate logged in, which
Agreed.
to me
I do think it's a connection issue over there. Seems likely.
It seems likely to me, but what you gonna do? You know what I'm talking about? My wife watched an entire Hallmark because Hallmark movies are back.
Oh
She
yeah,
watched an entire Hallmark movie last night that was just a little bit out of sync.
Oh, weird.
So the movie was garbage to begin with. And then it also was out of sync. And I'm like, can we just, it was her birthday. So I was like, I'm not going to be a jerk about it. But why?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Can we just watch a DVD of a bad movie? At least we'll know it'll be in sync.
That is so aggravating. So there's a movie called The Driver that I really like. It's like a 70s car movie. And you couldn't get it for a long time. So I just had this digital file of it that was slightly out of sync. And so it was like a movie I could not watch that I loved watching unless I watched it out of sync. I hated it.
That is awful.
Yeah.
Kate, you're a little pixelated, but let's see how the girl sounds.
Do I sound okay?
Sound okay.
Good enough for me.
No? Should I leave?
No.
Okay. Good.
We need to hear.
Not good.
I need to know how you felt watching this movie.
I think this, if I can reenact it, I think I can do it right. And I knew, and I was like, oh my God, it's the scene. It's the scene. It's this scene. And I did one, and I was like,
It's so bad.
I was like, oh, it's so bad. And I knew after the chippity chop, I knew what they were going to do. I didn't know what was going to come out of it, but I knew the next thing that was going to happen. And I was wishing that I was wrong.
But I mean, the chippity chop part is bad enough.
The chippity chop. I agree.
It's pretty.
I agree. And then they're like, let's take it a step further. Yeah, it's awful. Thank you for that. But I have to tell you, I wasn't really scared.
I was gonna say, did you find it scary or was it just brutal? Because I think this movie is just like a brutal experience.
I guess more brutal than scary.
Yeah. I feel like it's more brutal.
I was
than
looking
it
to
is,
get
like,
scared.
frightening. Yeah.
What kind of stuff would be a scary movie for you, Kate? Like, were you more scared of things like a murder, like something that could really happen, or are you like demonic possession stuff, or what kind of stuff scares you for horror movies?
Oh, it's a great question. I'd really have to think about it. I like that one that we just watched. What was it called? The Following, or It Follows, or something?
It Follows. Yeah.
That I had to concentrate on. I had to concentrate on the bad acting in order to not be scared.
To not be scared.
So that spooked you out
something like that.
Bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie's a lot of like dread
it looks like
and
a cat
atmosphere.
sitting on my name. Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. It is me. I can see myself lagging.
No, I mean the comment there. I'm waiting for it to just work out so that it just syncs back up, because I don't know. I think you are like 3 seconds behind us somehow, because it's almost matching up, but it's just not matched up enough.
Just off. It's fun to watch with my lips.
It's much better this way. Yeah.
So, but Kate, what did you think of the movie other than the scene that traumatizes everybody? Because I actually really like this movie. I think the characters are very entertaining.
Well, here's what I do. I'm like watching the beginning part with the husband and wife, and I'm like, okay, so something's gonna happen to her. I'm bad at watching movies. I'm trying to dissect what's going to happen, and I think I do it more with scary movies because I don't want to be scared. So that's what I was doing the whole time.
Yeah.
I thought I
I like this delay.
Yeah, it's great. Kate, do you remember? People don't mind delays. They like it. They're used to it. She'll get that in a few seconds.
They love it. They expect it. They want it.
Yes, they love it. I sent it her way a few seconds ago. I thought the first time I saw this movie, I was shocked of how brutal it was. But it's also almost like the movie from last week. If there's a scary part, it's scary during the daytime too. Like these fucking things. Like they're not just people, even though they are basically just people with like paint on. They seem like monsters, and they have these things, the thing in the neck, and it makes this noise that if you ever hear something similar to that in your life now in real life, you're going to associate it. Horrible.
I love that element, the thing in the neck, because it's like it's somehow both supernatural and an explanation for how or why that supernatural thing is happening, like all at once. Yeah. And I kind of like that. It makes them like unknowable. And I think that's like kind of scary. Yeah, for sure. And I was, when I first saw
you know what, guys? This is going to be so hard. I have to, I'll say it really fast. So what I felt like this movie was really similar to, I don't know if you guys have watched Frozen 2. It's very similar to that. They make a similar noise. Cuckoo, cuckoo.
That movie sucks so bad. Frozen 2 is so bad. I hate Garrett. You haven't watched Frozen 2, have you?
Have not seen it. I did see Frozen like numerous times. My friend's daughter was really into it at some point.
Frozen Classic is I don't love it, but it's okay. Frozen 2, I feel like, Kate, you probably have to watch it, I imagine, with the kids that you watch. It feels like, to me, it feels this way, that they had 15 scraps of movies that they thought they were going to make. Like, this one's about magic. This one's about danger. This one's about mending the cultures between the Native Americans. This one's about losing your parents. But they couldn't make a movie out of all of them, so they're just like, fuck it. Frozen made a lot of money. So let's just have all of this shit in one movie and make it work.
You're
and
right.
Then it did.
You're right.
Put all your half ideas in a blender and see what comes out.
Pretty much.
Shake it up. Yeah. Oh man, I feel bad.
You should feel
bad that I'm behind. I'm not normally behind.
You should feel very bad.
I'm normally ahead.
Listen, the only thing I'm here to talk about is Chicory. Chicory is the greatest movie character, maybe of all time.
Just because he doesn't shut up.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
And
he's funny at the end.
I love that guy. I love that actor.
Yeah.
Well, and I didn't know that it was that actor until like halfway through the movie. It took me forever. So that's Richard Jenkins.
Really?
So he is the dad from Step Brothers. He's what else? He was in The Shape of Water recently. What else is he in? He's in Burn After Reading. He's in everybody loves that movie, Cabin in the Woods. Yeah.
Wait a minute,
wonderful.
Was he the one that was in 6 Feet Under? The dad 6 Feet Under? Was that him? Am I getting him confused with someone else?
I've never watched 6 Feet Under, so I can't help you with that.
It's excellent. It's so good.
Oh yeah, Richard Jenkins is in a ton of shit.
Yeah,
and he's somehow unrecognizable, I think, in this role. Like I didn't even know it was him until I was like halfway through the movie, and I was like, "Oh, that's who that is."
Kate, he's in 6 Feet Under. So you were right.
I knew.
He's great.
I love this.
I think he's so funny in this movie. I love all the just how the movie would just sort of read in like little moments between him and the sheriff. There's the whole thing in the beginning. He's like, oh, that tea smells terrible. And he's like, it's soup. He's like, oh, well, now that I know it's soup, it smells great.
Right. I love the whole game, especially
and I think I was concentrating on those things.
It's
There's
great.
nothing-
I love this. One of us just has to steamroll the rest of the crew. It's like
There's
that's
no
the only way it
choice, 'cause
works.
You don't know.
Yes.
You have to predict the future.
Yes.
Which
You have to
normally
predict the
we're all
future.
able to do.
Tim, you're
Yeah.
pretty good at just keep talking. Yeah, normally we can predict the future. Normally
Yeah,
we
you're-
can, but not today. I'm doing it. I'm trying to keep talking. I'm trying to keep it going. You're welcome. You're
May
welcome,
have noticed
everybody.
Kate's just talking as fast as we can.
I know. It is actually.
But I was
of the
paying attention to that guy.
Of the directions this could
I
go.
was paying attention to that guy.
This is the one you expected?
The funnest.
Yeah.
Kate, why don't you just move to a different place in the house that has better
She said
connection?
this is the best reception in this house.
That's a
She said,
fucking
this
lie.
is the best.
That you've been lied to.
No. Not the
Or is
first
there-
time. No, it won't be
Certainly
the
not.
last either.
Um,
Should I go? I can leave.
Are
I'll
you
wait
calling
10
in
seconds
from
to
back
get that
in?
message.
to come back, like
Leave again?
maybe close out your browser and come back in, or move to like 4 feet to a different part of the room you're in,
Okay.
and then come back in. Don't leave. Thank you. Huh. Fuck's sake.
It's all right.
Garrett, what I was thinking about with Bone
Yeah.
Tomahawk. First of all, I highly doubt a lot of people watched it in the comments just because it's long.
It is long.
And even if you thought it was just a Western, you'd be like, I don't feel like investing that much time.
I know.
But God damn, you guys need to watch it.
I feel like it also does not start strong. I think that it like builds as it goes and
Yeah.
gets like more entertaining and interesting the more you invest in it, you know?
Yeah. Something I was thinking about though, I have no evidence of this other than that it just makes sense to me. But the thing with the throat is so clever, like how they have this device. It almost makes me think like, I wonder if at a time someone had that idea, just that little idea, and that's what spurred the movie. Like,
right.
Because every movie had to have some idea first, like just some thing, and that's such a weird, specific thing that I liked. I was wondering, like, maybe you just thought of how horrible this would be, how scary this would be, and then wrapped the movie around that.
I know. I love stuff like that where it's like, where's the actual nugget of this idea, you know? And I could see that where it's like actually around this like weird, I don't know, contraption that these creatures have devised. I know you were saying before about Matthew Fox too, who's like one of my favorite parts of this movie.
Because his character is so, I don't even know what words to apply to his character.
Well,
like he's kind of a jerk, but he's not. His family was murdered, so he just goes out and kills Indians now. That's what he does.
Right. I mean, so he tries to justify his actions through like his tragic past. And he was definitely a soldier, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's like whether he had that tragic past or not, he definitely was a soldier that was instructed to like kill you know what I mean? It's like so I think it's an interesting thing of like, I don't know that those two things are necessarily related. He seems to use one as an excuse for his like cruelty, you know?
Yeah.
Because it is an interesting, if you actually think about the premise of this movie, it's literally about two old guys and a cripple that need at least one capable man to go rescue a woman. And the only capable man in town is like a psychopath. Like he's just like a murderous, like all he wants to do is rampage. He's just looking for an excuse, you know?
And even evidenced by how he just kills those two guys out.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if this is the way it was supposed to be, but he's almost proven right then. Because I don't know if that was supposed to be that way or if that was a different ambush, but
I think that the whole movie is literally about like masculinity and these like four versions of masculinity that are sort of forced to work together and against each other as they work like with each other, you know?
Right.
And his version of that, I think, is like psychopathic, but it is also born of like practicality, like an extreme kind of practicality, right? Like he operates in very practical terms that make sense to him and certainly are keeping him alive. Like you can't, it's like, you know, it's very interesting. I love the part with his horse.
It's so sad too. Like
it's so sad. But what's his horse's name? It's like God,
I forget.
It's something so funny for him to have a horse that's named that.
and it's like his best friend.
Yeah.
Um,
I think there's so many great like character moments throughout this movie while they're just like on the trail together. And that goes on for almost like 90
half
minutes.
the movie, at least half
Yeah.
the movie. Yeah, it's just them trotting through the dry desert.
Yes. But it's like,
And,
I don't know.
and the guy from The Watchmen.
Patrick Wilson.
Yeah. Look who we have back.
Hello.
Can you
in
hear
the
me?
booth.
Is it the same?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
That was a long
That was
delay.
a little slow on the response.
Darn
A little
it!
slower than I would have liked.
Because as soon as you said, "Can you hear
I'm
me?" I
sorry.
thought she was gonna, and I was thinking it's fixed.
I was like, this is it. We're golden.
Not fixed.
yes.
So,
Yeah.
okay, you need to start thinking about 4 seconds ahead. So you need to be answering my
Okay.
questions before I ask them in order for
I'll come
this
up
to
here.
line up.
Got it. I got it. I'm back over here. Oh man, I'm sorry. What should I do? Should I leave?
Wait, no, I
Leave?
love this though. So your version of trying to find a better connection in the house was you turned the computer to the other
You
side of the
turned-
room.
Slightly around.
Didn't work, guys.
Nope.
That should do it. Nah, I'll put it back. It didn't
Oh
work.
man, that was a great reveal on that. I was like, oh, she did move. And then you're
Listen.
like, oh, this didn't work. And then it was like that moment in Spaceballs where they just like, they use the transporter, but they're just walking from room to room.
Right.
I'll just do that. I'll just walk around the house. I'm at rehearsal. I can't. Hi, Anna.
What are we
Can
rehearsing?
we just walk around the house
What kind of
for-
rehearsal are you doing?
for a movie?
Another one.
For another movie. Yeah, yeah.
How was the premiere of your other movie? Didn't that happen between episodes that I've been on?
Oh my god, it was awesome. It was awesome. So, here's the bathroom.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Tyler won. Ooh, Tyler won the +1. So he was.
How'd
the
the
guy.
boy do? How'd the boy
And-
do?
You know what? He looks so handsome. He did great. I introduced him to some filmmakers and writers and things like that. He was really awkward about it. It was awesome. There's a dog
That sounds
here.
right.
It sounds right. Yeah, it sounds perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was good. Is this any better? Any of this better? Same delay?
No, but it's more interesting at least.
Yeah,
At
no,
least-
we're
at
working
least
with
Okay,
it.
good.
now.
At least this is like there's a reason for it instead of just bad Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Do they have
no,
like
but thank you
do
for
they have
asking.
any snacks? Anything?
They had wine and beer and popcorn. Yeah. And at the end, this is crazy. Sarah, the writer, Sarah Viteri, came out to me and she's like, there's a guy from Netflix here. He writes Netflix movies. And she's like, he wants to talk to you. So I went up to him and he was like, he's like, you were really good. And his friend who I know is next to him, like this big shot guy. And he's like, when I first met you, I thought you were a terrible actress. But you were actually very good in this movie. And I was like, thank you.
Thanks.
You get
Thanks,
me.
I guess.
Thanks. I love the compliment.
This sounds like
he's
like
good at compliments.
this sounds like another van guy like waiting to happen.
Hi, my name is
Frankly.
Todd Netflix.
Oh, you think
and,
so?
I'm here to speak with you.
Yeah, Kate, he negged you. That's not. You don't want that. You don't want to take
He
any of
probably
that.
did.
He did. That's what
Yeah,
you just
so-
He's in
explained.
his house right now.
Yeah.
We moved in together. Is that weird? We live together now. We're very happy. I mean, all of his movies.
These are his sunglasses.
Yep, he lets me wear them sometimes. Is this interesting enough for everyone?
Yeah, it's like you're reporting from Afghanistan.
I don't know
or
what to do. Guys, it's really dicey in here. This is
It's getting much
this is
much
me in the
worse.
mirror.
Oh, I
Worse,
thought that was a
okay.
different person. I was like, oh boy, you're just like running around some other person's
Mhm.
house.
Yeah. Well, how was the bathroom? I feel like I should go, not to the bathroom, but leave.
Garrett?
What do you think?
I'm not making these calls.
Kate, try
I
to
should go.
find a place.
I'll
Try
go.
to find a place where it works and come back in. But I can't talk to you really. It's like love you.
Bye. You better.
She doesn't say I love you too. I swear to fucking. She didn't. You know what's funny is even when Kate's not being a trip herself, somehow technology warps reality around her to like.
Yep.
Like she was dressed totally normal, acting everything's normal, but it was like, no, we don't accept this kind of bullshit. It has to be crazy.
She's always trying to describe her life as this like never-ending series of like mishaps and like, you know, unfortunate events.
Yep.
And then it's like I'm only given evidence that must be true.
I believe it is true.
Yeah.
After only knowing for a few months, I believe it to be true. There's just parts of like whatever parts of the universe attract to like random weird shit. They all are rocketing towards her at all times.
Yeah, you know they say the universe is like constantly expanding. I assume it's just because like Kate is living in it and it needs to like constantly be making more room for her.
That's the only reason it's expanding is Kate's here.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know what we should talk about anymore because I was just. Well,
listen, we can get right back on the Brooder train here because I know how much you love this character. I love him too. The Matthew Fox character.
Oh wait, Kate's back again.
Oh my god!
And I can see the thumbnail. Yeah, and I can see that the thumbnail itself is delayed, but I'm gonna bring her in anyway because
she's coming in hot. Do it.
She's a third of this show.
She belongs.
Kate, you made it back in.
Yeah. Yep.
That was a big one. Yeah, that was another big one.
Yeah.
Where are we now?
Where out here?
Where have we found ourselves? We're outside.
Outside. Yep. Reporting live outside.
Are you on your computer or your phone now?
Computer.
If you want it to work,
it's been my computer the whole time.
Pull out that phone and then do the phone outside.
Okay.
It'll work.
I'll try it.
Dude, we need you. We're floundering.
It'll work.
I said that for her benefit, audience.
Go on, Garrett. Well, we have 40 free seconds.
Oh God. I really love talking about Matthew Fox's character in this movie. I actually feel like Matthew Fox gets a real bad rap as an actor. I feel like he's very overlooked.
I think so. Yeah, I guess he's not.
He's not in a lot of stuff.
Right.
He's not in a lot of stuff.
It's his choice. I hope it's his choice.
Well, I think it's kind of a choice. I also have heard he might be a bit of a dick, that he's like maybe not delightful to work with.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's very good in most things I've seen him in. And he is so fucking good in this movie. He has my favorite line in the movie when he is like dying at the end and he looks up at Chicory and he goes, "I am far too vain to live as a cripple."
Yes.
It is so self-aware of exactly who he is. And
right. And he knows it's the end. He knows he's not going to live. And even, what a great, like, I don't even know how perfectly everyone fits together in this movie. They're incredible. And what's the guy's name again from The Watchmen?
Oh, it's Patrick Wilson.
I forget all these for whatever reason. I forget these particular guys' real names.
Yeah,
but he's a great. He is always. He's not really uncool guy in everything he's in, but he's like the has it together more kind of person. Like he doesn't usually have a lot of facial hair. He's
kind
not
of a square.
Right. He, but he also isn't like a baby either. He's just not fun and he's not crazy. But he like is awesome in this movie. I know he's a trained actor, so you should be good at this. But the pain that he's in the whole time is so real.
Yeah. He is. I also think he's kind of an undersung actor. Like he commits really hard to everything that he's in. Joe's got it. I think Joe's.
It's probably point. Tyler messing with the wires.
He's jamming our signal.
He's probably 40 feet away from Kate with a signal jammer, sabotaging her.
He's just like holding some tin foil over her head. I think that Patrick Wilson is great. He commits so hard to everything he's in. Like, have you seen the Conjuring movies?
No, I'm not. So other than you. And this show, I don't watch horror movies.
The Conjuring movies are great. I can't recommend them enough. specifically the ones that are called The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. The
How
side
many are
spin-off.
they? Just the two?
There's tons of side spin-off movies, give or take, however you feel about those. But The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2 are great movies. They're both very scary, I think. And he is so good in them. In the second one, they literally take a whole 2 minutes to just let him sing an Elvis song on acoustic guitar. And it is wonderful.
Is that like David Lynch level weird, or is it just like
kind of? It literally, the movie like takes a break just to watch Patrick Wilson play a why can't I think of his name all of a sudden? I keep wanting to call him Zelda. To play an Elvis song.
Zelda.
Yeah. It's just a 2 minute break in the movie where he just plays.
How scary? If you had to rate The Conjuring on a levels of scariness, where would you put it?
I think that movie's that's what I tried to find on a streaming service to recommend to Kate for this week, but I couldn't last week because I think The Conjuring is actually very scary. It's like really, really effective horror movie.
What's it about? Like is it about conjuring a spirit? Is it about like
it's a haunted
possession?
house movie?
Okay,
it's a haunted house, and it's like, but it takes place, I think, in the 70s. It's like a family moves into an old house, and weird shit starts happening. So they hire, and it's based on these real people that are actually like really fucked up people. The Warrens. Are you familiar with them?
No.
They basically they were exorcists, and they claimed to be very real exorcists, and really just took advantage of a lot of people that really believed that they were really able to like help them. Probably a lot of mentally ill people. But anyway, they claimed that everything they did was real, and the premise of these movies is that they're real exorcists, and so it's like a real case of theirs. It's like a real case file they had about this family that was supposedly haunted in this house, but the movie just treats it like they're real exorcists, and it's a real haunting, and it's just really effective, scary stuff.
I want to watch it, but I'm probably not going to because it'll probably just bother me for days.
Yeah, it's scary. I like that movie a lot.
I almost prefer. I think I prefer movies like Bone Tomahawk or The Mist or like Island of Dr. Moreau or The Fly, where it's like it's weird, is scary, but it's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Whereas I know The Conjuring probably won't happen either, but it's got this much more of a chance.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Something about spirits is somehow
because we all know there's something real. We all know, no matter where you're from,
feels like it must be, right?
Right. Like there's 7 billion people. They're all different religions, right? Or a religious, whatever. And every single one of them knows there's something.
Some kind of
there's
energy,
something that animates you, makes you, and that it could potentially be fucked with.
Yeah,
I don't know. This kind of shit bothers me. Which also makes the most effective horror movies, I think, or scary movies.
Yeah, my partner just watched The Exorcist 2, which is like people don't like it. It's called
the remake or a sequel?
There's
a remake that I saw.
It's a sequel. It's called The Exorcist 2, the Heretic, the Heretic. I don't know how you actually pronounce that word. Heretic.
Yeah.
Heretic. And boy, it's weird. And it's like, I don't know if it's a good Exorcist sequel, but it is a good movie. It's like a really, really weird, crazy movie.
You want to know an embarrassing thing, Garrett, is I've still never seen the original Exorcist.
Listen, can't recommend it enough. It is truly one of the great movies, but I think it is the kind of thing that will actually scare you.
Well, that's the thing. My dad kind of shaped most of my movie watching habits to a degree. So like when I was a kid, we might have talked about this, but when I was a kid, I like wasn't allowed to watch a lot of movies. So like I couldn't watch anything with like really gratuitous sex stuff or like it was almost like things that my dad felt he would always say if it's artistically justified, right? Like he's like, did somebody intentionally do this or did some dickhead who just wants ratings do this? Which I didn't get as a 6-year-old. I was like, I don't know, Dad. It's supposed to be funny. But I like I also was required to watch other movies that other kids weren't allowed to watch. So like
right.
I'm trying to think of an example of one I wouldn't be able to see, but like I wasn't allowed to watch Scary Movie when it came out when we were like 12 because it was like too much gross stuff.
Yep.
But I had to watch The Road Warrior and The Blues Brothers and Terminator 2 by the time I was 8.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is what I like. Like this is like the baseline of that. And then you know, we were lucky enough to grow up when we did. So there was a lot of cool movies from like
a lot of cool movies,
the 80s, and then a lot of the 90s movies are dumb, but they're still fun.
I think 90s was kind of an underrated decade at the time, and it seems to actually kind of be coming into vogue now. People are sort of going back to a lot of 90s stuff and being like, oh, there's some like real good shit in this decade. But I think specifically for kids, the 90s is where it's at. The 90s is full of great movies for kids.
Yeah, and a lot of them are like ultra violent action movies.
Yeah.
But for some reason, a lot of them were getting made into like not violent cartoon shows. So like you were still familiar with the characters, but not in a head exploding way.
They tried to sell us RoboCop as an action figure when we were like 6.
The
RoboCop
violent shit.
A violent fucking movie, and like not like there's nothing kiddie about it. Like the message of the movie is like it's like an anti-fascist movie. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like that is not an action figure for children, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, and that's another movie. Actually, that's a good example of one where, you know, I know it's a little bit campy, you know, or whatever. Yeah. I guess campy is the word, but like,
no, it is.
It almost makes you uncomfortable by the level of violence, just because, and it's not because of the violence in the movie. It's because you know someone had to have thought of this and then made it and then said, "Yep, that's what I want this to." Like in the beginning, where the cop gets shot like 100 times before he becomes RoboCop. It's like, Jesus Christ, where were you mentally when you wrote this?
And that scene kind of famously, so that movie got an X rating when he first tried to like.
I mean, that might be deserved.
Well, and that scene in particular, like the scene in the movie that we saw that was rated R is brutal and violent and goes on forever. And the reason that movie was rated X was because it went on for like another 2 minutes in the first cut. Like,
how could it get worse?
That scene goes on forever in like the unrated cut. It's wild. Also, fun RoboCop note. Kate,
darling, it's a crime that we're doing our movie night and we can't. She always has notes and stuff.
I know,
but it's like talking to somebody. It's like talking to it's like either we're both ghosts and we're talking to a human, or she's the ghost, because it's just this much off and you can't have a conversation.
I know.
What were you saying though?
I don't know. So it doesn't matter.
Probably something stupid.
You should tell Kate to hop in for like the last 5 minutes, but she can only read her notes to us. That's like all.
Oh yeah, that's an idea, Kate. If you want to do a 5-minute monologue at the end, just hop in. We have 12 minutes. Oh, I know what I want to tell you, Garrett. This is an interesting thing I just found out about not long ago, and you'd think maybe you already know about it. I don't know. In Nazareth, the town that we are from, in the 1920s. There was a cult, and they were called the Devil Chasers.
What?
And it was an ultra religious cult that would exorcise people. So just like you were saying, and they would do these crazy rituals. And it was like this guy from the cement factory and another guy, like prominent people in the town though, and they got involved. And then they became like the bosses, and then like the guys' employees at the cement factory had to join because it's the 1920s and it was like you get fired if you didn't do what the boss said. Anyhow, they do all these crazy rituals, and then they would try to get like it started with them in a real church, and then they try to get everybody going. Everybody's like, no, we're not. We won't be slaughtering any calves in the house. And so they went and did their own thing, and it kept getting worse and worse and worse. And they had a house where they would do these weird rituals in, and it eventually happened that. I'd have to look it up, but I think the guy either murdered his own daughter or murdered somebody else. And I shouldn't even say the guy did it. Like 10 people.
Right. It was like a ritualistic thing.
Yeah, and they explained. I found a newspaper clipping of this for what I don't remember what I could have possibly been doing. Then I found it
crazy.
But the way it would be is, and you can see this easily when you've seen religious cult shit online and probably in person, and I have, and they'll be like, the devil's in her, you gotta beat her out, her out. So they beat her up, and then they'd be like, oh, the devil jumped out, the devil's in the bookcase, and then they smash the bookcase. The devil jumps out, and there's like whoever's in charge is the one who's just saying the devil jumped, and they beat this girl to death to get the devil out of her, and I think I don't think the newspaper had a proper ending because it was like being reported in semi-real time, so I don't know what happened at the end. But I don't know if they went to jail, if they got killed, or what happened. But right in our town, the Devil Chasers.
That is this is somehow not. Yeah, jeez.
And my mom lived in the apartment they used to live in. Mom, if you have any Devil Chaser info, please post it. Please.
I would love to know more because that's somehow not surprising, but also the wildest thing I've ever heard.
I know a lot of people who are over the top of religion to the point of like they're just using it to justify their greedy means, right. but they're so far in that they don't even know they're doing that.
Yes, yeah.
I've had family members tell me that the Lord told them I should give them money. I'm like, I don't think He told you that. I don't know for sure, but I doubt it. But I don't think the people who said that were thinking, "Oh, I'm going to trick him." I think they are thinking that's real.
Well, tell his people to contact my people, and then we'll see if we can work something out.
An arrangement where somebody else brings me the money, and then I'll give you half.
Yeah,
we'll work it out that way.
Right on Machunk Street.
Yeah, right on Machunk Street's like right near where I grew up also.
Yeah.
But isn't that a crazy thing?
Insane.
And it sounds like a Rob Zombie thing, like the devil.
I mean, I'm going to Google that as soon as this is over. That is so crazy.
So, we got that going. Garrett, here's the thing. I don't know what to do about this. I don't have a plan off the top of my head. Yeah. But as you know, we're doing the show 1 day a week, right?
I was waiting for you to bring this up.
And we're doing it Thursdays.
Yeah.
But I, the most important member, arguably, I love movie night.
Of course you do.
I like talking about movies.
Who doesn't love movie night?
So I don't know if maybe we'll figure it out later. If we'll figure out, we'll do movie night anyway. And if Ty and Kate want to be in it, they can. If they don't want to be, they're not on the hook for it. I have a feeling Kate's going to want to be in there. Or we do it less frequently.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'll try to figure it out with you. I don't really care either way, but I like having a new movie assigned every week because I then watch more movies.
Yeah.
And it's really the only movie I pay attention to all week. Like I watch movies in the background every day, all the time. But I don't really pay that close attention to them. But like the gift of Hunt for the Wilder People.
Yes.
And all this kind of stuff, I think is worthwhile, even if we don't have a ton of people that watch it.
Yeah.
Because you have to invest in the movie. I really don't care. Because the people that do watch it are on the exact same page that we are.
Right. Well, I mean, we'll try and work this out, but I think like at the very least we should try and if we can get the old Ty's approval, keep having me back like once a month or something. We'll have like a movie night once a month. I think that's very doable on my end. And I already have ideas. I've got some things that I think after our time together, feel like I've gathered data now. I know where the nation is at, what the nation likes to see up on the screen,
Yeah.
And
it's not always the same level of enthusiasm, as you've noticed. It's not always the same. Even, for example, Bone Tomahawk. Not a lot of enthusiasm from the nation.
Understandable.
And not a lot from the thing either, which I was
surprising, right?
I thought that was
going to light the skies on fire.
Well, I thought everyone had already seen it and everyone already loves it, is what I thought.
Right.
And I was wrong, Garrett.
That movie was a big old flop when it came out. Nobody liked that movie when it came out. Yeah.
Really?
That movie actually hurt Carpenter's career in a big way.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, it was a huge flop. It got reviewed very poorly. It's like our generation kind of found it on home video and has kind of turned it into the kind of classic that it has become regarded as.
No, isn't that insane? Just that concept, because that happens to a lot of movies.
Yeah,
how you can spend all this money and time, and you have Kurt Russell and these big actors, and everyone tells you suck.
Yep.
And then 15 years go by, and it turns out everyone else was full of shit.
Yeah.
Usually when everyone tells you you're wrong, you're kind of convinced that you must be wrong. But there's instances where it's a huge project, everyone hates what you're doing, and you're still the one who was right.
Yeah, well, I sometimes think about this as a critic. Like, I'm curious what movies is Bone Tomahawk artistically
Garrett,
justified.
you answer this one.
Uh,
I
Mr.
think
Fry,
so.
I think it is actually. I mean, it's an exploitation movie which has their own artistic aims that are very different from a lot of other things. But I really think the as you and I have talked about, Tim, the Western that this movie
Yeah,
is excellent. It's like an excellent Western.
yeah. I think
So much so much so that it makes you forget you're watching a movie called Bone Tomahawk
right about
until the Bone
cannibals.
Tomahawk of it all happens. And the fact that it makes you forget
Right.
until it happens makes the happening that much more insane and dramatic. And I do think there's like an artistic trick or feat that's being pulled off there
Yeah.
as like a storyteller, right?
And the fact that there is a bone tomahawk. Like it's not symbolism. Okay.
Oh, no.
I mean it is, but also
It's about as literal as it gets.
there's a tomahawk of bone, and you don't want to come in that motherfucker's path.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so Dad, I would say this. I believe it is artistically justified. However, take the warning that there are at least two things in this movie that you will never unsee once you've seen it. There's one, and the other one I'm thinking of the big one, you know, the big one.
Yeah.
But then the second one is only there for a second, but it's like when they showed the women.
Yep.
That one stays with you also.
Yep.
Because it's in a way even more horrible than the big scene.
Yeah,
they have to spend their whole life that way.
Yeah, the implications of this movie are just as traumatic as what you actually see on the screen.
But I don't think there are many. I actually can't think of a single other one. Maybe the zombie movie with Ving Rhames during the daytime. That's a pretty scary daytime movie. But
what movie's that?
It's
not Dawn of the Dead.
Is it the Dawn of the Dead remake?
Right. Is that what you mean?
I thought that was a pretty good daytime movie.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah,
I
guess
it's not in the same caliber as Bone Tomahawk, but it's
but I know what you
mean.
Good
and during the day. But I don't know if I've seen another movie that's, to me, this intense and scary of everything takes place just about during the day.
Yeah. I know.
And like these guys, the bad guys, or whatever you want to call them, they're so well, the scenes are so well shot that they're behind like a piece of grass and you don't see them until they're tomahawking you.
Yeah, it's I mean, I think for anybody that is actually a fan of old westerns, like the photography in this movie is beautiful. It's all these gorgeous western vistas, and then they're just sort of perverted by the horror that also exists within those frames. It's a great movie. I genuinely think it's a great movie. I don't know if there's any justifying what you have to see in this movie, but I think I've maybe made a solid argument for.
I think the argument has been laid.
Yeah,
I think we said all we can say.
Yeah,
that it is a great movie. There's things you can't go back on.
Yep,
but
but also, Tim, it's one of those things where here we go. If you want to justify that artistic, right? You get that horrible scene that is so difficult to watch. But you also get the fulfillment of all of this, which is the moment when the sheriff looks at Chicory and says, "Say goodbye to my wife for me.
Yes.
I'll say hello to yours."
Yes. Kurt Russell has his shit together.
That is great cinema. That is so powerful. Every time I hear that line, it is so powerful and dramatic. It's great cinema.
Yeah.
And it only works.
You hear the gunshots a few minutes later because he did what he said he was going to do.
Yeah. So good.
There's almost a little bit of Kurt Russell from The Thing in Kurt Russell and Bone Tomahawk in that he is even though this is the most insane thing that anyone's ever seen is happening, he's still kind of like, no, I'll go this way, you go that way. It's just keep it together, keep it together. Like he's just very
the mission. Yeah.
So the answer is, I want to say, give it a watch, people. Give it a watch.
Try it out.
After you're done, fire up the mist. Take some of this thing off.
Yeah.
In a different way.
Yeah. cycle into an insane depression that you'll
Right,
never be able to get out of.
A different kind of depression.
Yeah.
You want to know what depressing? I know we're at an hour, but
that's all right.
This is an odd movie that it came up like as suggested to me a long time ago, and I watched it. It's called Borgman.
I've not seen Borgman. I would like to see Borgman. It's like about like a home invasion, kind of, right?
Kind of. And I should watch it again because I'm forgetting it. But I know that it was one of those movies that you just feel a little bit on edge the entire movie. And then as soon as you think things are going to be okay, they're really not. And as soon as you think things aren't going to be okay, they pretty much are okay.
Okay.
But I remember it was a kind of movie where you finish the movie and you're just like, what do I do now? Like, what do I do with myself? But yeah, Borgman put on the list.
What the hell is that movie called? Requiem for a Dream. Have you ever seen that?
When I was like 16. And it was only because every other 16-year-old's like, dude, it's the best movie of all time. I know. And I think I just didn't get it. I should probably watch it again as an adult. I don't know.
I don't know about that. I saw it when I was 18. I saw it when I was 18, and it's a good movie. Yeah. But it is one of the only movies that has ever left me with that, like, oh, well, what the hell do I even do now? Like, I can't speak to other humans maybe ever again, because this was such a like traumatic, just destructive experience. Like, everyone and everything is bad. I will never be okay again. Like, I have never really seen a movie that pulled, just had that kind of ultimate, like, nope, I'm done.
He rustled it. He Kurt Russelled it is right.
He should be Kate.
I don't know if I'm gonna. Maybe I won't watch Requiem for a Dream.
I don't think you need to watch it. I don't think I'm ever going to watch it again. I brought it up to confirm that yes, there are movies that make me go good. Why? I never need to do this again.
There was I know this is a popular movie. But I watched it and I think I probably wasn't paying enough attention to it, or maybe I was, and it's just not that. Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, I do love that movie.
I don't remember if it's strictly scary or if there's a movie inside of it that is fun to watch or entertain. Like, I don't remember because it was so long ago, and I only saw it once, and I might not have been paying attention.
Yeah, Pan's Labyrinth. There's definitely like more movie there. I think if you watch that again, you'd get more out of it.
All right.
There's like some really interesting stuff happening there.
It's an odd movie.
Very strange.
Yeah.
It's like a fairy tale set during World War I, where the fairy tale elements are so extreme. I think it's very easy to sort of like watch the movie exclusively through that lens. Mm-hmm. But the movie is about World War I. It's very much about like I think the occupation of Spain during World War I. It's about a very particular time and place during World War I, and that's what it's about. It just is using all this fairy tale stuff to sort of tell you that story.
Okay. I'll check that. I do want to watch that one again. I'm not going to watch Requiem for a Dream. Let's just get that out of the way.
Don't need to.
All right, good. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's no movie to assign for next week.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what. Let's get the old Ty on board here at some damn point, and we'll chat with him. We'll figure it out, because I have some ideas, movies I want to recommend to the nation. But we'll try and slot them into maybe like a monthly gig or so, something like that.
All right, we'll figure it out. Before we go, I see Joe Abrams posted this, and we should say, for everybody that's still watching, which are very few of you, please go on to the Clicking and Screaming page. It's the most recent post, and it is Angela Malpito. She is a friend of ours. She's an awesome baker. She's baked stuff for the Trinity. She's baked stuff for birthday parties I've been at. She has baked one of the best cakes I've ever had in my entire life. And she's trying to get on some kind of TV show to win. It's like a baking show. So you have to go on, click the thing, click the link on our page and vote for Angela. It doesn't cost anything. You don't have to give up your info. It's already on Facebook. So just do it. And Garrett, thank you for being with us. You can catch Garrett at Philadelphia and I Like the Movie.
Yes.
The webpage on Facebook. Kate, I like to say it's not your fault, but it's more or less your fault. Real shame. Real shame. But we'll see Kate tomorrow when she is going to have a nice, solid internet connection. Thank you, everybody, for watching the program. I'm not used to doing this. I'm gonna go over and navigate to the theme song. And
hey, it's been a pleasure doing this all these weeks in a row here. This has been fun.
We'll revive this motherfucker. If I have it my way, Ty's the boss, but I'm stronger.
All right.
All right. Good night, everybody.